Hello everybody, how are you doing today? And welcome back to the garden. It's 1st of September, it's first month of autumn. September is a month of harvesting and preparation for winter, so let's go. As I just said at the beginning, it's 1st of September today. The autumn just started, so it's time for harvesting and preservation. Today I'm gonna probably be picking most of the apples. They started falling already, so it's time to pick before they all go to the ground. I got my basket and I also have my bowl for some veggies. We're gonna have a look at them a bit later, but let's start with the apples. I'm gonna pick most of them, the cooking apples and the big tree of unknown variety that were growing here before I moved in. The young tree, the gala apple, I'm gonna show you later on. I'm probably gonna leave for another week or so. They are already sweet, but they could be a bit sweeter still. So let's start with the apples. Let me show you how they look like close up. So today I'm gonna be picking cooking apples. They're all gonna get juiced and turn into a cider, most likely, the apple wine. There's quite a number of fruit on it still, but suddenly when the month changed, the weather changed here in UK as well. We are getting quite a lot of wind suddenly, and we're getting rains and showers almost every day now. After the cooking apples, I'm gonna move to those beauties. Those are eating apples, but they're most likely gonna be turned into a wine as well. I might slice them and dehydrate them for storage. I'll see how it goes and how I'm coping with the time. So they're gonna be picked as well. And also that tree in an ex-chicken run gonna be picked as well and harvested. The only apple I'm gonna leave a bit longer is my gala apple, the youngest one. I already had a couple of apples. They are sweet and tasty, but they could be just that bit sweeter. So I'm gonna give them a few more days, maybe up to a week, no longer than that. The fruits are still hanging quite firmly on the plant, so they can stay maybe a week. I think after a week they're all gonna get harvested. But without further ado, let me do some harvesting. Those are really nice green apples. They are cooking apples, quite sour, but they are perfectly fine for juicing. The one thing with the fruit trees, no matter what they are, apple, pears, plums, peaches, once you get one tree, you have definitely more than enough fruit for yourself and probably every other neighbor. So the thing is, you have to preserve it somehow. I found it over the years that, for me at least, the easiest way to preserve them is juicing and pasteurizing the juice in the bottles, or alternatively, like I'm gonna do this year, turning the apple juice into a cider, apple wine. The good thing with turning apples into a cider is that the apple don't have to be perfect. They could have some blemishes and damage. They're all gonna get crushed and juiced anyway, so it doesn't matter. And with one tree, even a small tree, you're getting crazy amount of fruits every year. So let me continue with that harvest and I'll see you on the other side and show you how much apples I got today. So I think that's not a bad harvest at all from three rather small trees. I had to use the wheelbarrow at the end. I can't be carrying all those boxes, it's way too heavy. As I said before, most of the apples gonna get juiced and turned into a cider. I might make some apple juice, but I think it's too much faff with pasteurizing everything. The gala apple just here, I'm gonna give it another week, 10 days before harvesting. So that's the apple harvest for 2025. If you are interested in making cider or apple wine, check the channel in a couple of days. I should be uploading a video of me making the apple cider. But for now, let's have a look what else we can do. I'm here in the greenhouse that turned into a jungle again. I'm gonna be harvesting some of the tomatoes. As you can see, the beefsteak tomatoes, they are just starting to turn red, the biggest one, but there's plenty and plenty of red one already ready to harvest. I'm gonna pick all the rest cherry tomatoes, and I think we're gonna have a grape harvest at least beginning of it. So let me pick the tomatoes first and then I'll show you the grapes. As I said, there's quite a number of beefsteak tomatoes ready to harvest. There's plenty of green ones still, but let me pick all the red ones and I'll show you how much I got. I think it's a lovely view. That's my weekly tomato harvest. As I said, the beefsteak tomatoes are getting slowly ready. There's quite a few ripe ones. The Italians are getting there. It's not that many of them really. The red cherry tomatoes are lovely. It's like small jewels really. So as I said, it's roughly how many tomatoes I'm getting last couple of weeks every week. But one thing I wanted to show you is just behind me. And just here in a corner are my first two sweet peppers. They're coming with me today as well. Those are really lovely, sweet, tasty peppers. As I mentioned in one of the previous videos, that plant in a corner I just showed you was the first one to flower and is first one to fruit. So that's the one I'm gonna be saving my seeds for next year. So I'm getting 2, maybe 3 first sweet peppers. It's not bad. First week of September and I'm getting my first peppers. And also, while we are in the greenhouse, let's try our first grape. That's a lovely bunch, isn't it? As I said, most of them are gonna go for juices and wine. You can only eat so many fresh grapes, but they are really lovely, sweet and seedless, most of them. So this is the first cluster I harvested. There's plenty and plenty of more. As you can see on the camera, the grapes are everywhere under the roof of the greenhouse. So first couple of them gonna be eaten fresh. You can only eat so many grapes. Rest of it gonna be turned into juices and wine. They make lovely rosé wine. So I'm quite chuffed with the grape performance here in the greenhouse this year. I'm not getting that much on the outside grapes, but this one is working overtime to compensate for all the losses outside. And that's my harvest for today. Not bad at all. As I said, a wheelbarrow full of apples from 3 smallish trees and a bowl full of lovely tomatoes, a couple of peppers and the first grapes. If you are interested in me processing the apples and later most likely the grapes, stay tuned. There's going to be more videos coming soon. Also, I'm planning to do some more sowing and maintenance in the garden, slowly get everything ready for coming winter. We're still getting nice weather. As I mentioned at the beginning, it's raining almost every day, which is good for my spider mite infestation. It's almost gone and the beans are ripening, so that's going to be another harvest soon. The French beans second sowing is ready to harvest as well, so I'm going to be doing that in few days as well. As I said, September is a month of harvesting and preserving, getting ready for coming winter. So if you are interested in stuff like that, please subscribe, and I'll see you back in the garden very soon. Bye.